I can't be so concerned that you can't function. No, I'm here. It's a dangerous profession.
Shots fired.
That way, guys! Get out! Get out! Let's go! Let's go! Get out! Let's go!
Das Böse siegt, wenn gute men nicht handeln. Evil prevails when good men fail to act. Stick around. I will explain. Now I am very proud and I am very happy that our men and women were able to protect the president and his guests at the dinner. Now you understand who truly are the haters of democracy. Now you understand who pretend to be some lovers of the First Amendment, but they're anything but. Now we understand who are the wolves in sheep clothing. They go around and they tell you, oh, they believe in democracy and they believe in the rights of the people. The people have voted and they have elected Donald Trump as their president. But yet still, even before he became president, you see several attempts to try to deny him the ability to become president, to try to deny the American people to determine their own fate and destiny. And again, you see this sort of despicable, evil act of trying to rain terror on the leadership of the American people. But these are the same people that tell you how much they love democracy and how much they're protectors of democracy. Okay? These are the very people that tell you that. And in some respects, none of this could be done had it not been for the climate and for the despicable vitriol that is being spewed against the people's president. Okay? This all is happening because of a climate that is created by, in many respects, mainstream media and all the antagonism and vitriol and painting a horrible picture of this current president. This does not happen in a vacuum. This happened because in very subtle ways, people are pretty much sucking. Okay? They're sucking their followers against this president. But I want you to understand this is not unique to the United States. This sort of mentality transcends borders. This is a liberal, globalist, radical leftist, mentality. This is a perverse demon of thinking that is diffused throughout many nations on the planet. I want you to understand this is a type of mentality and thinking that they will tell you they believe in democracy, they believe in the right of the people to elect their leaders, but at the same time, when the people elect their leaders, guess what? They're the ones that engage in such terror. Had it not been for the ability of our men and women to protect the president, the leadership, and his friends, we don't know what could have happened. So I am extremely proud of our men and women for doing a fantastic job to ensure that this did not end badly. As I have said, this sort of thinking and mentality is pervasive throughout the earth. Okay? This is a sort of mentality of radical leftists and liberal globalists. This is their mentality. Through their media, this is what they encourage. And I want you to understand, in a unique Grenadian situation, you will see somewhat a mimicking of that sort of mentality. That you will see the vitriolic vibes that is being projected by these sort of people in a local Grenadian situation. You saw how they went to try to tear down Dr. Justin Pierre. You saw the sort of vitriol that is being spewed at the opposition, and in particular, Miss Emmeline Pierre. They will try to destroy healthy discourse, because this is how the radical leftists operate. They cannot defeat you on reasonable, rational arguments. So what do? They don't want healthy, reasonable, rational arguments. And this is why, when you try to tell the truth, they will come after you in the most vicious ways. You have to understand, as I said it a couple of days ago, that this is not unique. Okay? This sort of vitriol, back and forth, okay? And this sort of intimidation is not unique to a local Grenadian situation. This is a coordinated global effort to stifle truth, rational thinking, and reasonable discourse in politics. But they will lie to you, and they will have you believe that they are the most reasonable people. They are the lovers of democracy, but they're anything but. As I said, their little sister party, the NDC. So there's no mystery when you see locally the NDC party and the haters and their followers become so vitriolic and are so vicious and will attack people who are trying to expose them, okay? And talk and have rational discussion in politics, they will come after you. Because this is the sort of actions and political methods that they mimic. Okay? This is the sort of action that socialist Marxists have used in the past. And it's quite interesting that the NDC seems to be a home and an abode of socialist Marxists. So it's no mystery when you see that they're so vile and despicable in some of the things that they say. Look what they tried to do to Dr. Justin Pierre. Look what they tried to do to anyone who tries to challenge and expose them. They will try to bring you down verbally, and if that doesn't work, they'll try intimidation, and if that doesn't work, they'll try to confront you physically. This is a sort of climate that the leadership and the upper echelons of the NDC has created in politics. For all that was said about Dr. Keith Mitchell over the decades, the gentleman did not respond. The gentleman did not respond in some respects, and when he responded, did not respond with such equal vitriol and viciousness. So I want you to understand that you have got to make a decision. Is this the sort of society you want? Is this the sort of people that you want ruling and at the helm of your society? Because this is the consequence. Okay? Viciousness, vitriolic statements, vile and despicable statements at opposition and anyone who dares challenge them. This is what they will do. And none of these things happen in a vacuum. They don't start off the way they end off. They start off slowly and then they become a cancer. In 1979, 1980, I was in Grenville. And there was jubilation at the start of the PRG government. People were dancing and singing in the streets. And then slowly, they tried to deny you your voice. Slowly, then they start jailing you. Slowly, they start putting you in internment camps. Today, where the proposed Polaris Hospital is supposed to be, used to be, for you who don't know, in the area used to be an internment camp for Grenadian rascals, okay? And people who dared challenge the then government. It's interesting today you see rascals collaborating with these socialist Marxists. Knowing the history, knowing how they treated them, today you see rascals collaborating with these socialist Marxists. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. So the bottom line is this. What I'm trying to tell you, when you see these things happening, when you see the intimidation, when you see the surveillance, when you see the sort of viciousness and intimidation in Grenada, this is not unique. This is them, the current administration, following a model from their big sister party. They're not doing this by accident. This is an orchestrated plan to intimidate, okay? To try to break the spirit and will of people who desire a better life, okay? And a better climate, in political discussion. They don't want people like Dr. Justin Pierre, who believes in the First Amendment. They don't want people like me, who believes in the First Amendment, and many others. That is why the GSDP, the Grenada Social Democratic Party, will continue to bring awareness to what is going on. And hopefully this awareness, okay, brings education, and ultimately this education translates into liberation of the Grenadian people. So again, the bottom line is this. All of this vitriol, all of this intimidation that is being done by the current administration to people who dare challenge them or dare question what they're doing, it is not an accident. It is an orchestrated plan to try to silence people who question what they're doing. Okay? It's not a surprise. This is typical radical socialist Marxist modus operandi. This is how they operate. And it's interesting, as I have said, that all these socialist Marxists finds a home in the NDC. What about the NDC that attracts, okay, these socialist Marxists in droves? As I have said, they have hijacked the NDC. Okay? And in some respects, maybe advising them in this sort of action. Again, as I said, none of this could happen in a void. When you have a leadership that says that some people are lucky to be alive, making reference to the former Prime Minister of Grenada and said that he's lucky to be alive, what are you saying? So, if you have eyes, you must see what is taking place. If you have ears, you must hear what is taking place. And I know you have great minds, so you must understand what is truly taking place. You have a choice. Okay? You have to decide in the next election what direction you want your country to head in. Do you want a country where leadership intimidates? Okay? Leadership tries to silence people who question what they're doing? Do you want a leadership that is open to healthy political discussion? Do you want a leadership that believes in the First Amendment, the freedom of speech? Do you want a leadership that is responsible? Okay? That is accountable. That does not feel that they are some sort of tyrannical organization and they can do whatever they want without any sense of fear. Do you want people who respects, engages with the community, listen to the community, and acts upon promptings of the community? Then you have no choice. The Grenada Social Democratic Party is your choice. Grenadians, we have seen this sort of intimidation before. And that's how it starts, slowly. And if it is not checked, okay, if it is not challenged, it grows. So I want you to understand, do not sleep on what is going on. Hold your leadership accountable every step of the way. And I know some of you are scared. I know some of you are intimidated. Some of you are afraid to say anything. I know. But as I have said, that evil prevails when good men and women fail to act. So you have to act. You have to stand up and talk about the evil things that is being done in your society. You must bring awareness so that the people will know and that the people will respond and demand accountability. You have a job to do. I encourage you to share this video, comment below, like, and please feel free to support our efforts at bringing awareness to every Grenadian, far and wide, so that we can educate them and ultimately that education translate into liberation from charlatans and imposters. This is the mission of the GSDP, the Grenada Social Democratic Party. I urge you to reach out to our St. George Northeast constituency candidate for more information. Support his efforts. Mr. Nicholas McMillan. He will be your representative for the St. George Northeast constituency. He is one of you. He will be by you, and he will be for you. So, guten Tag. Ich hoffe, Sie haben einen schönen Sonntag. Good day. I hope you do have a good Sunday.